every interaction that you have is unique. Whether it's one of how you're going to pay your mortgage, or, whether about your school, whether you get accepted, and if so, what are you going to do? What kind of, how should you prepare yourself for that? What kind of knowledge do you need to take that on? All of these things, you can approach any of them with fear, and you can approach any of them just with knowledge and acceptance. So you need to be aware. You need to be prepared. You need to be able to plan. All these things are just being intelligent, trying to optimize the choices you make to be good choices. You should be prepared. You should think about things. But once the thinking turns into worry, once the thinking turns into something that you go over and over and over in your mind, say when you're trying to sleep and you can't sleep because you're thinking things, now you've kind of crossed that line into a fear. A worry is just a gray version of black fear. It's fear light when you worry. So think through the things that you're doing. Make your best choices for success in what you're doing. Having made your best choices, do it. Execute the choice. Now, every so often, you can go back and say, well, let me recheck those choices. Is there anything I missed? Did I get something wrong, or did I forget to think about something? Go back over it again, and if you say, no, I don't have any real new data, then keep going. If you find that, I see, I didn't expect that changes things, well, then change your plans. So you need to be flexible. You need to be able to think and rethink easily, but you don't need to get twisted up about, am I doing it right? Was that the right thing? Is that the wrong thing? Should I have done that? Should I have done the other thing? Do that once, and then once you've decided what you're doing is the right thing, then just proceed and do it, and let the rest go. So when we say go with the flow, doesn't mean that you stop planning and you stop trying to make good choices for your future. It just means you stop worrying. You stop trying to make everything be the way you want it to be. As things work out or don't work out, you can make changes, change your plans. Things are different. Okay, so you just react to them. You don't react to them with anger. You don't react to them with being upset. So let's say you take your tests and you fail your tests and you don't get in. Well, now, you just accept that and you say, well, I didn't make it that time. Where did I go wrong? What was my weak point? What part of the test was I not so good at? And what parts were I good at? And if you can figure that out, then you go relearn that parts and you go take your test again. And okay, you just do it. You don't have to be angry with yourself. You see, that's just ego and fear. You don't have to be upset. You don't have to call yourself stupid or do any of those things. You just say, well, that happened. Now here's my choices now. I can let that go and not go that route, or I can study it and take it again, or, I can study it differently. So you see what I mean? It's just going through your life, making choices, changing your plans, dealing with things the best you can, and moving forward without the anger, without the recrimination, without the worry. Just, it's your life and it's unfolding. It'll unfold someplace, and wherever it goes, it's going to be good. Whether you pass that test and go on to become whatever it is that will enable you to become, or whether you change now and do something totally different, it's all a challenge. It's all good. It can all lead you to a good place. So it's not like you're going to make a mistake and it's going to ruin the rest of your life. You're going to make a mistake, perhaps, and it means you're going to make a change, but life goes on and it's always good. It's always positive. You see, in that way, nothing can really go too wrong, because even if everything collapses and everything that could go wrong does go wrong, well, you pick it all up and you head off in another direction, and that's going to be full of great challenges, and you're going to learn a lot, and that's going to be fine. So it's that sort of attitude. Always have a positive attitude toward whatever it is you're doing. It's the overthinking, the worry, I really need this, I really want this, it has to happen, and if it doesn't, it'll be a disaster. You need to let go of the it'll be a disaster. You need to say, and if it doesn't, I really want this, and I'm working hard for it, but if it doesn't happen, well, I'll do something else. And that something else will lead me to the next thing, which will lead me to the next thing, and that's life. However that shakes out, I'll live it to the fullest. Doesn't matter so much what you do as the quality with which you do it. That's what you learn from. Use your intellect. That's a good thing. Planning is a good thing, but don't get wrapped up around what happens. What happens is whatever happens, and you'll deal with it as it happens. If you start making plans such that this has to happen, then that has to happen, and this other thing starts to happen, that's when you get a lot of stress, and you get a lot of worry, and you get fearful that somewhere in that chain doesn't work. Your life's going to be terrible. And it's not going to be terrible. It's just going to be different. Because in order for a life to be terrible, you have to be full of fear and ego. Not about what you're doing or not doing. It's about you have to be full of fear and ego. So if you're not full of fear and ego, your life's never going to be terrible. It's just going to be different.